I really appreciate your participation with the Build Out live stream every Wednesday at noon Eastern Daylight Time, exclusively here on LinkedIn. The stream will be starting in just 1 minute. In the meantime, let me take this opportunity to talk to you about the live streaming studio that I use to stream Build Out with Jim Kunkle. StreamYard is a live streaming browser-based studio that allows you to interview guests, share your screen, and much more. With StreamYard, you can multi-stream directly to your website, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and for those who qualify, live stream here on LinkedIn. So now's the time to start live streaming. In the event post and on the video description is a referral link for a $10 credit when you become a paid subscriber to StreamYard. On today's live stream, my guest is Hiedi Brooks, Director of Sales and Marketing with VCP Sales. Hiedi and I will have a conversation on why build out your social media. Okay, let's get this Build Out with Jim Kunkle Live started. Hey, welcome to another Build Out live stream. I'm Jim Kunkle.
And I'm Hiedi Brooks.
Hiedi, it's so great to have you back live streaming once again.
I apologize. I froze there like I used to when we first started. Yes, it's really great to be back. Summertime, I kind of missed live streaming with you, and I'm really excited about the conversation we're going to have today.
And we have someone who posted a comment. It came from Hiedi Brooks. Hi, viewers. Please share your experiences and ask some questions. We definitely want engagement. So please post your comments, post your questions. And again, the topic that we're going to be covering today is related to why build out your social media. And having Hiedi Brooks, she's helped me so much when it comes to social media, what to do, what not to do, and everything like that. So we're gonna share that knowledge and experience that you have.
Say that again, Jim. What did I do? No, I'm kidding.
No problem. So for everybody, here's what we're going to be covering on the stream. We want to show this to you right away because I want to make sure that nobody jumps off the stream too early because there's a lot of good information coming that Hiedi and I will be covering. So looking forward to this conversation today with you, Hiedi.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That is what we're going to cover today. Thanks for the outline. Your edits and graphics are amazing, if no one has told you recently. As he mentioned, my name is Hiedi Brooks. I'm Director of Sales and Marketing for VCP Sales. Hi, Mike. We've interviewed Mike in the past, and that's a wealth of knowledge in the oil and gas and pipeline industry. So thank you for joining, Mike. Also, I would call him a social media influencer as well, because he does a good job of education online.
Definitely. You are the director of sales and marketing for VCP Sales. We're starting to really climb out of the whatever it was, obviously during the pandemic.
Sure.
How are things going for you in VCP Sales right now?
Very exciting. VCP Sales and the team works to revolutionize the industry with products and solutions that excel beyond the current parameters. So I am so excited that people have accepted and embraced some of the innovative products that we carry and fill in the pipeline integrity industry. And it's created a lot of activity. So we are really busy. My boss works really hard, and we have a small team that looks forward to experiencing the solutions and providing them. My email is hbrooks@VCP Sales. A lot of you, maybe some LinkedIn connections, you can always contact or message me about some of our products. We specialize in 4 pipeline integrity products, and it has been very, very exciting 2021.
Yeah, I think the thing too is what I find valuable is, you're putting out a lot of content that really, talks to the application process and procedures. Because, a lot of times you'll see product, there's a lot of technical data sheets, material data sheets out there, and it's great to look at all that technical stuff, but to see it in application in the field or talk about it or have people share their experiences, that's very important. And I know we'll be definitely talking about that and covering that during our live stream here today.
For sure.
So Hiedi, I follow the American Marketing Association, and, going into 2019, and it really intensified in 2020 and 2021, definitely, social networks are fast growing, and they're becoming one of the most dominant, in a way, an industry in the world. There are, currently right now, nearly almost 2 billion Facebook monthly users. LinkedIn, about almost 800 million members, and then over 57 million businesses take advantage of, obviously, LinkedIn as a networking platform, but it's also a social media platform as well. Now, related to LinkedIn, this is very interesting facts. Users are predominantly here in the United States, India, and China. And so LinkedIn has a lot more room to grow as a social network. When it comes to social networks, how critical are they to, in your opinion, to success for businesses, professionals, and individuals?
Very important. And I think all of us know that instinctually, especially with the last few years that have grown. I have been on LinkedIn since 2007. I have always been more professional than social. I take pride in my work ethic. And so I was quick to join LinkedIn. I did not join Facebook until 2009. It's extremely important for small businesses to create their brand online now more than ever, as well as in person. And these things need to match a core value system that business has created and instills in their staff. And that value system should come across on social media on a consistent basis. There's many ways that we'll talk about today to make it easy for that to come across. One thing that always comes to mind is in-field pictures. Now, again, I work in the pipeline, integrity, water and wastewater, oil and gas industry. So in-field pictures are extremely important to us, as you probably know, working with some of your clients. And those in-field pictures are also important for that individual that's going to be interviewing and sometimes not knowing that they're going to be out of a job, but to develop a small portfolio that they don't have to be responsible for printing and carrying around and et cetera. They have it right online. So small businesses, and when I speak today, small businesses and individuals will be able to encompass all of these tips that we'll share. And I do want to share one stat that my boss and I have a lot of marketing brainstorming sessions, and him and I are both experienced and very passionate and enjoy the sales arm of it. But the marketing we enjoy, but we also find a little bit hard for it to come across because him and I are such doers. And so, but one of the stats I want to share, 60% of buyers of professional services will check you out on social media. When you drill down on how people are using social media to check you out, it's interesting to note that LinkedIn is far and away the most common platform they use, with 70% of professional service buyers checking you out on LinkedIn versus others. Now, we will address all social media outlets today, but we are LinkedIn Live, and we thank LinkedIn Live for this opportunity. So we definitely are going to start there, not only because of that stat, but this is where we're live streaming.
Definitely. And many of you that are watching right now and followers of my professional profile, Hiedi, you know that my game is LinkedIn. It's always been LinkedIn. You and I met through me trying to do Instagram and IGTV, and that's how you and I got connected. Now, you know firsthand that I have not really embraced Instagram, IGTV as I try to initially, but I do need to focus on Instagram, IGTV, and other networks as well, because it's going to help me build, again, my personal professional brand, but also to help me in my outreach, my engagement, trying to get information and knowledge out to contacts that I have, and hopefully brand new contacts that I'll meet that I can help out.
You brought up a really good point, and there are definitely things I need to do as well as I'm getting ready. Everyone out there, I am not an expert by any means. Joe Surratt, who is a LinkedIn connection and also was one of your last guests, said the more you, what did he say? The more you learn, the more you realize you do not know. So yes. Should you embrace Instagram? Yes. And you should embrace all social media outlets because you don't know which one is going to be the next TikTok. So when your brand is already up there, justified, consistently posting, it's not about likes, it's about consistent brand awareness. Yes, I respect LinkedIn probably the most, but one reason why Instagram is my second social media go-to and commitment is because the social influencing and the brand influencing on Instagram is better, I feel, than any other social outlet as far as quick purchases. So again, we launch and market very innovative products. So our targeted client is a little different than a quick sale, but we are a supplier and we work with many small suppliers. So it's important that we're out on Instagram. So someone that's a contractor that's looking for coding for an industrial project can search us. And if we've been consistently putting up white papers on any social media outlet or Instagram pics in field, we have our phone number on there. He's going to click that and call and say, hey, where's the nearest supplier for this cold weather epoxy or Viscotech or, and I'll be right there to tell him. So it's really important. I did find you on Instagram and I think you do an amazing job on Instagram. I think you should go where you naturally are pulled. And you've been very successful and reached, and a lot of audience or viewers on LinkedIn associate with you in your industry. So it's important that you focus first on LinkedIn, but you do a wonderful job on Instagram as well.
Well, thank you. Like I say, I really need to get back into it. I got to get into a regimen. And the thing too, I through work, our social media specialists had recommended that I start looking at Canva. So I personally got into with Canva, got a pro subscription, and oh my God, it just streamlines everything because I was using multiple different apps to try to create graphics and everything. The only downside, unfortunately, with the Canva is that putting any type of the music they have for the Pro, if I put it out on YouTube, when I do put the replays on the YouTube channel, if I use any of that music, I do get a copyright strike. So now I've learned to substitute the music for what the free library that YouTube has. And, Heidi, that at the end of 2019 is when I really started getting onto the YouTube channel, started putting out different types of lessons and interviews and other type of content. LinkedIn for me has been a launch pad for the YouTube channel, but it also has been a launch pad for me here with the live stream. And then obviously the growing success for this build out live stream and content series, because, this is, I think, number 5. I think this is the 5th for build out live stream. And I'm seeing the viewers going up. I'm seeing the impressions going up and the engagement going up, and I'm getting a lot of great feedback.
You're giving some good stuff. Everything has been very beneficial to the LinkedIn community. The guests that you've shared, I have a lot of insight to offer. So that goes into our next topic when we want to talk about with social media basics and how to capitalize. With social media, it doesn't happen overnight. And, it requires time, it requires dedication, and the most important thing is creativity. Now, what I'll cover when we have in between this topic and the next topic, I have a short video about 2 minutes where I'll talk about that. Some of the trends for 2021 are that people want content, but they're not looking for the high-end production quality. They're looking for sincere, coming from like you and I, right? We don't have big studios behind us, big marketing agencies, but we can produce some great content. We can edit it. We can make it very valuable, bite-sized, consumable, that type of stuff. And that's really what people were looking for. Yes, we don't want to scare people off by saying creative. needing creativity, because
Correct.
yes, you need creativity, but you really need passion about your industry and your customers. Speaking with being in sales and marketing, I haven't been in a position where I've had to manage both of this in probably 4 years. Mm-hmm. And plus, I'm new to the oil and gas pipeline integrity industry as of a few years ago. So I'm constantly learning, educating myself, but the most education I get for marketing purposes is through my customers. So when you said you need creativity, yes, you eventually will need it, but you'll eventually need it, but you can start without it. We all don't have to have the perfect graphics. You mentioned Canva. I'm a big time believer in Canva. It's easy to use. There are some downsides, but one of my tips I'd like to offer today is follow and sign up for the spam, or something that you might consider spam, the email marketing letters, especially during the pandemic and after it. These marketing companies are so great because they're marketing experts. So they offer something valuable in each email that they send out, because they hope to obtain you as a client. And should you be able to afford them, certainly consult with them. But they always offer tips in there. Canva, there's so many different softwares that I utilize for different purposes. HubSpot, I haven't gotten a paid version yet, but I just got accepted as the director of sales and marketing for VCP in their Elevate program, because I think eventually we're going to implement that. And if you want to hear more about HubSpot's Elevate 2021, you can go to their LinkedIn page. I also recommend, one of my tips I want to share is following these marketing companies online. I'll tell you a little secret. At first, I started following marketers because I thought that's where I was going to get the likes. I thought they're going to be excited. They're going to like everything. They're going to want new clients. I don't. They're a little shady with their likes. I always like their stuff, but they don't like mine, and they'll inbox me, but they're not giving the likes. And that's the second point I want to bring up to you is, you said start out small, consumable. It's not about the likes. It's about the consistency. What can that viewer and poster or customer, client, what can they consistently rely on your social medias that you're going to give to them? Valuable information, ways to display that valuable information, in-field pictures. Again, I'm speaking from my industry, in-field pictures, but also from other industries. People want live, people want video, they want pictures. You can type all the text you want, and you can have a journalism degree or a journalism master's and be an English professor, but they're not reading it all. So it's important that we downsize the important bits and pieces into a short video, a great picture with a little text. And for the new users or users that want to enhance their own social media, whether you're a small business or individual, you do not need Canva, although they do have a free version. That's canva.com. You don't need that. You need to look at your Facebook page, look at any social media outlets, and see your pictures there. Not saying to use those pictures, but it's the same thing in a professional way, where you're at home every weekend, hopefully, or a few days off a week, and at night, and you're taking pictures of family time. When you're in the field, obviously safety first and discretion first, depending on the industry, you take pictures with your peers. Take things that you can post that that there's a whole industry out there that would love to see it. Murphy Pipeline Contractors, I had mentioned to you this morning before the stream, posted an amazing Father's Day post. And I don't have the link here. Jim will post it after. Go to Murphy Pipeline Contractors, view their Father's Day post. I'm not going to give you too much details because I don't have it to show, but it is sincere, unedited, and very, very genuine. And the headline of it is what touches your heart as a hard worker in this industry. And it's gone viral. And I'm sure they've gained lots of followers, and they'll gain lots of engagement as well.
Yeah, to that point, you really don't know what will go viral. And the things that you don't think will go viral, and the things that you would expect to go viral don't. So there's really no sometimes rhyme or reason to it. But to the point, requires time,
Yeah.
dedication, and the creativity. Listen, and I say to anybody, if I can do this, anybody can do this. Last week on the last week's live stream, we're talking about influencers, and we had Chad and Joe from the Connections for Life podcast on, and they started putting out a podcast, so they took it on themselves to be the content creators. They have a very successful podcast. Future streams, I'm going to have other guests that actually do webcast, podcast, and they produce it themselves. So the thing with it is, it's a lot of it is not the technical aspect of content. People want in real life. They want to feel, they want to understand, they want to be immersed in the things that
they want to identify, they want to
identify,
connect, they want to see what others are in the same position. And you really only need now an iPhone or an Android. If you're going to be scrolling social media all day, why not make it benefit you? And even though it can't instantly benefit you, then you never know when you're going to have to stream out that. I apologize for saying that. That might be confusing, but streamline those posts to put in a portfolio or to show how advantageous it would be for a company to hire you, whether that be as a bid or a contractor or as an individual.
So, when it comes to critical components for social media, the industry, when it comes to the American Marketing Association, they've identified roughly about 5 components. The first, I'm going to read these: building a social media marketing strategy. Obviously, you want to have some type of a strategy. You at VCP, you have a strategy. You don't have to tell us. It's top secret. Don't have to tell us.
Top secret, for sure. Yes, but what you want to have is your core values first. If it's a personal social media, there are things that I don't deviate from posting on social media, and how I created those values. Now, I'm not perfect by any means, but how I created those early on in social media is my children. Will they want to see, what have they seen in real life, and what have I kept them sheltered from? And I want to portray that same thing. Also, your never changing values and priorities. And so that's the same with the company. What are your core values? At VCP, it's definitely top-notch customer service, but it's innovation. It's showing the customers that we understand where those issues that need to be solved are, and here's why we do. So that's really important when you develop your strategy, that you stay focused on your core values.
The second component we've already kind of covered in our conversation here so far. It's related to planning, creating, and posting social media content. Let's go into the third component, which is listening, engaging, and responding to followers and users.
Oh, great subject. You want to certainly be generous in the sense that, everyone, no matter how many followers they have, small or large, if you're on social media, you should be giving a like. If you found any value, if you engaged with that post, being generous is always key to building engagement for your own profile and company's profile. And make sure it's targeted. This isn't, like every post or whatnot, because one of the important things for me is to keep industry-minded individuals on my LinkedIn, especially, that I'm going to gain from. And because that algorithm, which is very tricky on each platform of social media, you want to make sure that you keep it to your targeted connection that you want to connect with, so that they're in your feed, you're in their feed. And the more you are liking and engaging on those other posts, the better the odds are that you'll beat the algorithm for whichever social media platform you're using.
Definitely. That's a great recommendation. It's kind of the golden rule. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. If you want to really grow your presence through social media, you need to like and share others, appreciate others as well, collaborate with others, connect with others, and it will definitely happen. The other thing to kind of really put out there is to respond. I think a lot of the great connections that I have in my network, and I'll speak on LinkedIn, it's because when I see a post, I'll congratulate. Someone gets a promotion, or they're going to be doing a presentation on a particular topic. I'll point out to people saying, "Hey, it's great that you're doing that. You're experienced and knowledgeable in that industry, and everybody should sign up for this event." That's what you really want to do, and you need to make sure it's sincere. It's not fake. It's not
Well,
you're
yeah.
trying to self-serve or anything like that. And people will be able to sense that, and then that will help you also to gain connections for people who might view your social media and other social media, but they're not active themselves. You know what I mean?
Well, here's another social media tip that I want to include today is on LinkedIn. The better odds of beating the social media algorithm is to on your own post, reply and like and comment to your engagers within an hour. Engagers mean any comments or replies to that post. Shares. If someone shares your post, you should absolutely go to their post and thank them for sharing, not only because that's gracious and polite, but also because if their connections that are not your connections have any questions about your post, they know exactly who to reach out to, and you'll be in the comment section. So, that engagement within the first hour or two is of utmost importance on any social media platform, but especially LinkedIn. That's a fact.
Great two-part question from Michael Lamont from TRC. First part of the question: traditional webinars mimic technical conferences. Do you think the days of old school webinars are dead? Let me tackle that. My answer to that first. It's going to be a hybrid. And when I mean hybrid, it's probably going to be more blended. I know obviously with Legacy SSPC, we would have our conferences every year, Coatings Plus, and there was always a large number of international members and other parties that really would have difficulties, let's say, coming to the conference. I see a blended opportunity now to cover not only you'll have your main core conference where people will come physically, but you have an opportunity to offer off some type of a level of conference that ties into the main conference. It might not be exactly the same, but it does allow them to be able to register, like a paid registration, get great content. There could be live streaming events going on. There could be recorded content going on, and it gives them access to that technology, but also in a way it could also allow them to network as well. Technology has given us the ability to, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, as long as you have a relatively good internet connection and some basic technology, you can communicate to anybody at any given time. I mean, Hiedi, good example. We had Payal come from Fiji to join us on our corrosion awareness 2-hour live stream back in, what was that, April? I think it was in April.
That was in April, yeah.
And, it was awesome. It was, I think 3 a.m. her time when we were doing this. But it was awesome to be able to have someone from for you and I, let's say the other side of the world, participate in our live stream. So,
especially in the corrosion industry, it's very education based in the sense that we need their education over there because of the different environments, and they need it over here because of our different environment that causes corrosion. So definitely technical conferences will have to adjust, but in this industry that you're in, Mike and Jim, that I've come to absolutely love, we will always love in person. We will always need that camaraderie.
Yeah.
Some of the important information comes up in person, where via video or podcast, it doesn't so much, because another tip is, for the LinkedIn lives, especially or live streaming, you might not have a lot of viewers during your LinkedIn live or podcast, but you're going to have it on that replay. Because, and why I bring that up is by being podcast-like, yes, I do think they will need to incorporate almost like announcers and narrators like they do at sports events. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also think that video should always be included of that podcast because of replays, keeping them engaged. They want to see you in person, especially our industry. This is a hard work, recognizes hard work industry, and they need to see you. They need to know that you understand their issues or that you're on the same page. And
yeah, definitely. And I think for the second part for Mike's question here, I agree. I think it has to be more of that webcast where you'll be able to see, but they need to be not podcast-like. They need to be interactive. And I think that's
correct.
what makes the difference is to make it interactive because then you do have some level. I know it's difficult to really network like you would at a physical conference. But if you think about it, you only have so many hours in a day. And some of these conferences, they might run through 2 days to 4 days. You're not probably, especially if you get 5, 6, 8,000, 10,000 people at a conference. I remember being, at a World of Concrete that had 60,000 plus people, attendees in it. You're not going to meet everybody. And so the nice thing about a blended or an online is maybe it extends that opportunity to network, but it also gives an opportunity for those who might not be able. And again, the pandemic proved it. We were, we had travel restrictions and everything like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how companies, organizations, industries adapt to, well, let's say call it the new reality when it comes to in-person conferences and the virtual side of offering conferences as well.
I don't think we'll see that till later on in 2021 or 2022 because so many companies are dealing with these, COVID releases or whatnot. So a lot of people in a Kentucky Gas Association event I was in 2 weeks ago, a lot of bigger oil and gas or gas distribution companies are not recommending that their employees even attend in-person events yet. So anything that these companies and associations are going to be able to try, they're not really going to be able to get the full, full engagement from it yet. And until everywhere in the world, COVID has let up. So there's, for technical conferences and traditional webinars, I think one thing you can implement right away, and companies, including small businesses, should be taking advantage of now, is online for things to go viral, for things to catch engagement, for things to catch an eye. It's usually either education-based or entertainment-based. And those technical conferences have a real opportunity, or even in-person demos for business development and sales. That they have a real opportunity of recording that, being in person, and capitalizing on all things that we love in this industry, or we love as a social media viewer, which is education and entertainment.
Definitely. So let's move to the fourth critical component for social media, developing, launching, marketing social media campaigns. You're very well experienced in campaigns. Myself, typically I'm part of a campaign working with my organization. You can speak firsthand from experience. How difficult is it to build a campaign and execute that campaign?
It's pretty difficult. So for anyone out there, it's not too difficult that you shouldn't try it. There's a lot of great software out there, MailChimp, HubSpot, but it is difficult. Number one, keeping the sales and marketing team on the same page as far as a small business, but also keeping it consistent. Now, the first thing I thought of when why build out your social media opportunity came up is, what do I love? I love LinkedIn first and foremost, and Instagram second. But why it's so important to focus on the others as well is because building a marketing campaign, number one, has to be consistent. Whatever you're displaying and portraying to your viewers needs to come with all different kinds of material, white papers, papers, and that's clickable by a link. You don't want to post that. A lot of people aren't going to read it, but they might save it. Every social media platform has a save button, and the more save buttons you get, the higher the odds you'll beat that algorithm. But you want to, like I've said several times, pictures, video, all of those ways to display your consistent message, and that's what a marketing campaign is to me. First and foremost. Secondly, can you measure the engagement and the ROI that marketing campaign has created? And by doing how you can, LinkedIn has some free analytics that are awesome. I know my post average, this might help you out. The viewers, would help you out. My posts average anywhere from 500 to 1,500 views a post. And there are certain things that I know, and I have roughly about 2,500 connections. And there are certain things that I know are going to do better. So even when they have lesser views, I know that people are going to come back and see that post and still get value out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then other ways to measure are softwares that you can purchase if you're sending out an email campaign. But it's important that your most recent posts are focused on that product or service that your marketing team has sent out in that email campaign. So again, when I say post, I mean on all social media outlets that your company or you use. Consistency is king, engagement is queen. And I kind of stole half of that quote from HubSpot's recent post. They said something else was king, but engagement is queen. But consistency is king, and engagement is even better. You can get one like, but LinkedIn sending you those analytics of 1,000 views, and they specify what companies are viewing it, et cetera. I mean, that's your real ROI. And Instagram does the same thing. Facebook doesn't do it as much unless you're a paid partner. Twitter does have analytics that you can measure, and YouTube, which I need to get on more, has a really good analytical program that's free that you can view, because you need to see what kind of post is getting the most likes the most likes, but engagement, and those analytical software that these companies and platforms offer are very precise.
Yeah, as a LinkedIn user here posted, one view by the right person can make a big difference, and that's so true.
I have that reminds me of a great example that is so true. I am a LinkedIn connection with a small industrial contractor. They just built their LinkedIn page, posted it, and the LinkedIn button didn't work, or the LinkedIn link didn't work. And so I messaged them and I said, hey, just so you know, I'm not a know-it-all. I said, but I know that, you want people to go to your page. That LinkedIn button didn't work. So he reposted it, and I saw a comment on there. So he reposted a link that did indeed work. And I saw a comment on there that said, hey, I got this bid coming up that your services would match perfectly for you. What's your email and phone number? And that was one post that he posted, just one, and he shared it. So they were probably former colleagues, but you can tell they weren't like hugely connected. So the fact that he had a random free outlet to share his email and phone number can't be beat.
Exactly. So, during the last, you're recovering and talking about analytics and everything like that, really, that covers the fifth critical component, which is basically reviewing social media analytics and executing actionable steps. So from your analytics, you can learn a lot, and then you know where you need to go with your content, the timing and everything like that, because there's a science with social media. People don't realize it. There's almost like an engineering aspect of it. The timing is perfect. The messaging has to be a certain way, and you'll learn from your analytics what works, what doesn't work, and you have to be able to adjust. I've done that, because sometimes 1 a.m. I'll send you saying, oh my God, look how many people have looked at this post, or the shares or the comments. And we've had that with some of our live streams. I've gone, to our opinion, I would say viral.
Overnight, yeah.
Exactly. And a lot of times it's the combination that for me that's worked between LinkedIn, YouTube. Like I say, I really need to get back into Instagram, and I really, the interest with IGTV, I do see a lot of companies in corrosion and coatings that are taking advantage of that. And I need to do that for the aspect that here for build out for this content that I'm putting on under this series. So
for sure. I do want to say one of the all very good points. One of the points and tips that I want to share is you can Google what are the best times to post for any social media platform. LinkedIn and most online professional communities, it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Your online webinars are going to do best Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So you can Google those. Where you can also find those tips, again, are on marketing company newsletters, marketing company LinkedIn pages. I'm a huge fan of Joe with Gorilla, what's their name?
Gorilla 76.
Yes, he posts extremely valuable stuff that resonate not just in marketing, but resonate with me as a natural, sales-driven individual. So find those people that, you don't want to clog up your LinkedIn or social media platform with people, that you're just guessing will give you valuable content. And don't be afraid to hit the unfollow button, by the way. You want that. If you're going to spend time on social media as a social or professional outlet, you want it to be targeted, and you want to make sure you're there with people that you associate, identify with, want to learn from, want to be friends with, etc.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend if you go under G76, I think they have a site page. Joe has a webcast podcast that covers basically when you for industrial manufacturers, B2B. And he does a lot of really helpful tips, and a lot of it deals with content, the information you want to present, but also to the platforms that you want to utilize as well. So, if you get a chance, just after the live stream, viewers, just search under LinkedIn for G76, and you should be able to find their page. Hiedi, I have a short video that I'm going to play here, and it's going to be addressing social media trends for 2021. Could you hold on, please?
Absolutely.
Excellent. I hope that you're finding value with today's live stream. It's awesome to be on a live stream again with Hiedi, and I look forward to scheduling another stream with her soon. In a recent HubSpot post from Pamela Bump, he interviewed Kelly Hendrickson, who's the social media manager at HubSpot, on what can be expected with social media during 2021 and beyond. Kelly established 9 social media trends based on a recent research that was conducted by Talkwalker's Social Media Trends Report. Now, for the sake of time, I've narrowed Kelly's 9 trends for social media to 3 that I feel are relevant with today's Build Out live stream. The first trend is that content value will beat production quality. 2020 unexpectedly forced businesses and professionals into remote working. Social media and video marketing had to quickly adapt to scalable production processes that could be done from home. And consumers continued without pause to engage with videos, live streams, and other social media posts. Marketers and professionals clearly seeing that content produced with lower production quality was still very engaging and provided value to social media posters. The second trend, consumers will crave snackable content. Another 2020 trend was the rise of TikTok and Instagram Reels. Continued engagement on story content from Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, and other social media platforms offering short form or snackable pieces of content to educate social media viewers. And the third trend, companies, organizations, and professionals will go live. In 2019, internet users watched 1 billion hours of live stream video. And at this moment, many brands and professionals are using Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn to live stream their interviews, events, Q&As, and other type of content. Live streaming keeps followers engaged with you more now than ever. I'll put the link to this HubSpot Trends post in the replay post of the stream and in the video description of the stream recording posted to my YouTube channel. Now back to build out and the final topic discussion with Hiedi Brooks. All right, final topic, social media do's, don'ts. And I had to double check on don'ts. Is that how you spell it? And how to measure success. So when I think of this, you need the mindset of a strategic marketing. And that's the approach, when you want to focus on creating, distributing the value, distribution of value, relevant, consistent content that will attract and retain a clearly defined audience.
You know what I think of don'ts?
What?
Don't comment on political or random stuff. Your connections and other people can see it. Now, personally, I recommend doing it or not doing it, whatever you're passionate about. But professionally, do not comment or engage with something that you cannot answer to should you be asked about, that you cannot answer to in a universal way that you should be asked about in a company setting. So all of your points are key points, but something basic, don't do that. You said, now back on the do's, you had mentioned setting goals and knowing your audience. Those are extremely important as well. So being consistent is something we've mentioned over and over, and you want to make sure that your social personal media outlets are consistent with your authenticity and work. So that's not something you can really manipulate, but you certainly don't want to do it, post on your personal or other platforms if you're having an off day or other inappropriate things that we can all think of that some people do when they don't realize they shouldn't.
And the other related to the do's, because I really didn't address the don'ts. I hate to say that, but in the pre-stream conference, you realize that I didn't do that. Which platforms are best for you, and I think a lot of it is just trial and error to figure it out. But the other thing too is, where's your audience? And like I think you said, when it comes to certain industries, it might be, for example, and we've noticed, you and I, and I'm sure others have too, when it comes to corrosion and coatings, Instagram seems to be really up and rising. But also too, I heard a story that, people were starting to get involved in TikTok.
I could see that. I am not on TikTok, but I could, or nor is VCP, but I could see why that would be valuable. If I owned my own company like I have in the past, I would certainly be on it, because I love entertainment and engaging with, viewers in that way and kind of showing snippets of my life. But we're not on TikTok yet, but I could see why that would be valuable. Once you're in the field, if everyone in your environment's comfortable or your company's comfortable, how cool would it be for me to see a live application of one of our products on TikTok? That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it's education versus entertainment online all day long. So TikTok's entertainment.
I don't think there's going to be any duo videos between you and I, but on TikTok, but you never know.
Never say never.
Never say never. And to round out my do's, we talked about this earlier, social media networking, type of strategy, and then measure and testing. Is there any do's that you have that we didn't cover in today's stream?
Yes, thank you for asking that. Being proactive. Again, it's not about the likes. It's very important to build your professional and personal profile proactively, not in response to something that might surprise you later on in your career or personal life. So it's hard to brag for most people, but it's important to put those things up. I've volunteered for 18 years of my life, and except for the last couple of years, but I did consistently, and I never posted about that. But it's something I'm very passionate about. And I probably should have, because I would have connected with more charitable minded individuals, I think. And I may have been able to connect, through that time in my life with more people that needed me. So it's important to be proactive in your online engagement and posting.
Yeah, definitely. And then if I were to kind of throw some don'ts out there, I think you covered it as, stay out of the politics, stay out of certain social topics that really you don't, you're focusing on your message, stick to that message, try to be mindful that there could be, if you include politics or other topics, it could cause some grief, some issues. And then the other thing too, for me as a don't is don't react. If you have someone who posts a comment saying, I disagree with you, or, why, they question or they challenge you, take it as constructive criticism, let's say, take it constructively. And I've had it on my YouTube channel videos where people might put out a question and say, you had said this, or a guest had said this. What I typically do, I answer them back with the source information. So maybe they disagree on a certain technique or best industry practice. I'll give them, as they call it, the receipts, the sources, so that they can be able to say, now I understand why you had this in your discussion with your, during your interview. So those are some of the things. And then I think the thing to close out this topic is with the success is really take advantage of the analytics that are out there. There are third-party apps. Some are free, some are paid. There are companies that you can contract with that do this type of stuff.
We actually offer it with our small suppliers. They're so busy with our industrial contractors. We do it as a no-cost value add service. We help them market or start any social media online campaigns, things like that. And some of us do it on a Saturday morning for them and whatnot. But that's for the partners with VCP. But because it's so advantageous and mutually beneficial for them to be out there. And some people just don't have the time.
That is
budget.
That's a really great recommendation for anyone who works with manufacturers or even distributors, where they can be able to help out and the distribution channel help out. Because again, a win for your customer, a win for your distributor, a win for your, you selling a unit or whatever you're selling is a win for everybody. So take advantage and offer that as a benefit. I like it. That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's not only it's a great way to help your partners in business. Contracting and suppliers, they, it's a lot of doing. They don't have time to be online. And if they do, they need to be replying to potential and customers to make those sales and revenue. So, it's easy for us to help, and it's very beneficial for them. So it was something that John and I always talked about, and then we implemented early 2021 with our partners.
Excellent. Excellent. Boy, the time is flying fast, Hiedi. It's been a great stream. So next week, my guest will be Francisco Serrano from the Roofers Going Digital. We're going to talk about how digital marketing is transforming commercial roofing. So join Francisco and myself next Wednesday at noon Eastern Daylight Time here on LinkedIn Live. That will be an awesome discussion between the two of us.
I'll be here.
Excellent. I appreciate having you always as a viewer, Hiedi. It's better It's better to have you as a guest.
Yes. I enjoy your other build out series episodes. They've been awesome and very beneficial to me as well. So I enjoy being a viewer and especially enjoy being a guest. So thank you.
Thank you. And I know that you will be a guest again and again and again.
God willing.
Yes. Because I think people miss you and I streaming together. So.
Okay.
I do hear that. So I don't know if you do or not.
I don't know.
All right, Hiedi. So great stream. Very much appreciate this opportunity to have you back on again. And I guess this is hard to say goodbye, but I know you and I will keep in contact a lot, as we always do. Good luck on everything out there. And it's so great to have you.
Absolutely. And thank you to everyone that watched and engaged. Those questions are awesome. And it's why we're here. Thanks, Jim, for having me. It was a pleasure. See you guys.
As this user says, yes, I agree. All right, everybody. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.